Please read this disclaimer carefully before proceeding further. Hello traders, and welcome back to another edition of Forex Analysis. My name is Vic. Thanks for joining me in this analysis. Let's start looking at some Forex pairs. We'll try to cover EURUSD, GBP USD, AUD USD, USD Cad, and possibly USDJPY as well. So before we go in there, as always, I must remind you that you must look at DXY first. If you haven't seen the DXY analysis, go and check it out. It's already available on the channel now. And if you enjoy this analysis, if you find this useful, then make sure that you like and subscribe and share this with other traders and trading communities. And also put in a comment at the bottom. Let me know what you think about this analysis, right? Okay, so we'll start from higher time frame, and obviously we are resetting this entire analysis because it was getting very confusing last week. So let's start again. Now what we can say here is that market is falling down from here, and now it has started to move upwards, right? So that basically means that if I draw fib on this, what we can expect market to do is ultimately it can actually start to move to this level. Okay, and right now it has been struggling with that 61.8. so it fell right from this water cluster moving average, which is blue in color here. It fell right from there and then started to go down. For an entire month it kept on going down, and now it is trying to gain some of that ground. It is kind of retesting that 61.8. however, if that retest does not work, if it actually starts to go upwards, then that basically means that DXY or dollar is going to be very weak, and EURUSD is going to go to 78.6 Fibonacci level, and then it will start to go back down, because that's when we will have this W pattern completed, right? And if that happens, then it will start to fall pretty hard. Okay, so that is possibility on higher time frame for EURUSD. So what we need to do is for next 2-3 months, entire for entire rest of this year, we need to watch very carefully on the price action. If you're taking long-term positions or anything like that, make sure that you have your stops covered and everything, your trade management is very tight. If you look at the 1 year time frame, the market is actually kind of moving upwards, but you will not be able to ignore the fact that we are creating another M pattern here, and that basically means that euro can actually fall down to this level as well, because that M pattern completes here. So if the market starts to go down, then it is a long way down, right? So that can actually happen, but it may take few years, right? That's just higher time frame probability, and a lot of things can change until then. So what we know is that so far in this month market is moving upwards, and we were expecting that because this candle failed to close below the previous low of August. So that's why it is going upwards, and it may actually retest that level. If it is broken, then we are looking for upward move into 78.6. okay, so let's go to the weekly time frame. On weekly time frame, we are still looking for a bearish move. However, because the market has been very bullish, it is kind of consolidating. It broke through that consolidation, and now it has going back into that consolidation to test it out. So let's see what we have. Okay, if I come here, we can see that we already have a signal on water trend. The market is shifting its direction. We already know that we are looking for a bearish move as well, and it can come down all the way down to 1.3235. so that's it's a guidance basically, and market still has a lot of potential to go upwards as well. It can go up to 121,398. so we are still in a territory where it can actually start to move upwards, and it can go all the way above this previous high as well. But ultimately you are looking for a bearish move in this. And if we go to the daily time frame, on daily time frame we were given an indication that market was going to go up from here, and this is the level that we were looking at. So we are still not there. This is 18419. and market is still yet to reach there. So it can reach there in a day or so, and after that we can look for either if depending on confirmation we can go for a short position if the market actually gives us any kind of confirmation like that. So let's go back to this place. What we can see that market is trying to test that 61.8 right there, and we had this previous structure. So if I draw Fibonacci on here, right, what we can see that this is 61.8 into this level, and that is 1.8619. okay, and if I just remove that and go to the daily time frame, what we can see that market is creating a W structure here. So if I measure that, what I see that it is kind of coinciding with 88.6. so we have got our FCP zone right here, although one of the patterns actually has completed at 78.6, but this gives us a very good FCP zone. So how do we trade this? What we do is we wait for market to come into the FCP zone, and if we get a confirmation either using WATA or any other mechanism, then we go for a short. If the market actually breaks through this, so let me first draw this. So if the market comes here, we are looking for short position back into somewhere around here, and if the market breaks through this, then we are looking for a move into this level. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. And if we draw Fibonacci on this leg, yep, so that's what we're looking for. And we can see that this is the previous consolidation. So usually the market comes into that consolidation to test it, and it goes to either the mid part or to highest part of the consolidation. So that's what we have. Remember, we also had an inverse, sorry, not inverse, but we also had a head and shoulders, complex head and shoulders pattern, and the neckline was broken. Market has come back to retest it, but it got little overextended. Remember, it's similar to DXY. It's exactly like DXY. If the market actually breaks through this 19058, if it actually breaks through that, then we may not have this head and shoulders pattern. Then we may look for a higher move into this previous highs right there, or if those get broken, then we are looking for into this move which we talked about on higher time frame. So we need to look for bullish and bearish opportunities both at the moment, and we cannot just rely on one. So right now it is looking bearish because we are completing this W pattern. It is looking bearish, but we'll have to wait for a confirmation in there on EURUSD. What else can we do? Can we go to the 4-hour time frame? Okay, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, I can see that there is a W pattern right there. So if I draw Fib on here, I can see that it lines up very nicely with that level of 18619. So that is quite a possibility, but we also see that there is a good FCP zone right where we are. So that is why I'm saying you need to be very careful. You need to wait for a proper confirmation, and if you get a confirmation, then only you should go and take a trade. Here it was showing me 18431. So 18431, which is lying right into this FCP zone. Okay, so 18431 is right there. So we'll wait for the market to actually come in here, and if we get a confirmation, then we'll look for short position. And that also means that if EURUSD wants to go upwards into this zone, either here or even higher, that means the DXY is obviously going down, and that is why EURUSD is going upwards. But there are very good opportunities coming up on EURUSD. I will not try to look for a buy. If you are a day trader or short-term trader, then you can look for a buy into this area, into this zone, but I'll be looking for a short position because this is right now a bit high for me on the curve. So that is why I will not be looking for any buy here. I'll be looking for sell only. Okay, so that's my analysis on EURUSD. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found this useful. If you did, hit the like button and let me know in the comment section what you think about this analysis. Okay, let's move on to GBP USD. On GBP USD, we were actually long from here and we got very good profit targets from here to this FCP zone. There was a lot of choppiness around here, but once this FCP zone was broken, we knew that market was going to come into 1.3 level, which it did. And I also mentioned that once 1.3 level is broken, then we are looking for 1.31, something like that. Okay, GBP USD is actually going to go even higher than that because it is creating a very good pattern. So let's clean this up and start afresh. So if I go to the monthly time frame, what I can see that market actually created a W pattern. That is why it was falling down. So if I draw fib on this, it reached its profit target and now it is moving upwards, pretty much like what we see on Euro USD. On Euro USD, same kind of movement, similar kind of movement is happening. In the month of August or September it fell down, and now in month of October it is going upwards. Same thing happening here on GBP USD as well. So it will try to cover some of the lost grounds around here, and then it can start to fall back again, similar to what we have on Euro USD. So we have both long and short opportunities available to us on GBP USD. Okay, so now let's look at what we have here. If we go and look on weekly time frame, we got this indication that market was going to go down, and this is the ultimate level which can be reached. And if I draw fib on this, I see that it actually lines up very nicely with 61.8. So we know that ultimately it wants to go there, but it's just that market has very good space here, and it wants to go back and perform some kind of retest and there. Now if I go to the daily time frame, what I see is that market is creating a W pattern, right? And it can reach into this level of 1.31 and also 1.315. so these levels are also very good. If you had taken any trade using bota from here, then you are in profit right now. And if you had taken any trade from here and based on the stop loss, you are still in very good profit. So what we can do is we can go to our weekly time frame here, and we can see that market is creating a W pattern here. So if I go to the daily time frame, this is the W pattern that we have. Okay, so if I draw fib on this, okay, the levels that we have are somewhere around here. One second. Okay, so the levels that are important to us are these levels right now. Okay, if I go to the 4-hour time frame, there are multiple complex W patterns which are happening here, and if you know how to trade those W and M patterns using FCP, you know what to do. There are so many opportunities available on here, right? Look at this, there is a W pattern here, that's why the market fell. Okay, there is another W pattern, I'm not sure whether you can see, but there is a W pattern here, that's why it fell. And then there was an M pattern, that's why it went up. There is an M pattern here, that's why it is going up. And in here there is an extended W pattern, and now we have another W pattern appearing right there. So if I draw fib on this, okay, this is looking at right. Okay, so right now we are in an FCP zone in here, but a better one can be somewhere around here. This is going to be a little wide, but that's what we have. Okay, yeah. So if the market comes, if it gives any kind of indication to go down, then I'll take a short. And if the market starts to move upwards from here, then it will continue to go into that level which we find out 3080, right? That is quite a possibility in there right now. But if that FCP zone is broken, so this is our FCP zone. If that FCP zone is broken, whoa, 1 second. we have another one here. If this FCP zone is broken, then obviously the market wants to go higher and it may reach all the way to this level. So we may have to reanalyze this a little bit later, but you can see there is W pattern appearing, and it may be reaching a point where it is also looking at the previous structure, and that's why we can look for short opportunity. However, if you are day trader or short-term trader, you can still have very good long opportunities coming here. But right now, where it is standing, we can look for a good short opportunity because the W pattern is just completing right there, and it may or may not want to continue further for an extended W pattern. So this is my analysis on GBP USD. Hope you found this useful and enjoyable. If you did, hit the like button and let me know in the comment section what do you think about this analysis. Okay, let's look at AUDUSD now. On AUDUSD, we were looking at these levels. We thought that market was going to come into this, but it did not. It started to move higher from where it was, and this sort of thing, that is exactly what I was saying, like, you know, on GBPUSD, EURUSD and DXY. Sometimes market does not actually, like, you know, go all the way to complete those patterns. Sometimes it, like, you know, finds enough momentum to reverse from where it is right now. So when the market opened the next week, it actually, instead of going down, started to move upwards, and it followed our levels, and it has gone much more, it has gone further beyond. So let's look at what has been happening. If I open AUDUSD here, what we can see that market is bullish because we got a very good indication here on WATA, and it is just about to reach its profit target, which was identified few days ago. So 72,482. okay, so 72,482 is right where it is. Okay, but on monthly time frame, pretty much like, you know, other currency pairs, this month it is going upwards, and AUDUSD can actually go all the way to this level as well. This is where the water cluster moving average is, but that's on higher time frame. Let's go to this. We are looking at daily. Let's look at weekly time frame. On weekly time frame, we have bearish move, pretty much like EURUSD and AUD and GBPUSD, but market still has enough room to play around, so that is why it is going a little bit higher. It is looking for a better level to go and fall from there. So let's go and find those levels. If I go to the weekly time frame, we can see that market has come back into this 200 moving average right there, which is in yellow, and that can actually give us a very good level to look for a short position on AUDUSD. But if other currency pairs such as EURUSD and GBPUSD are going upwards, then we can safely assume that it may try to go upwards as well. So if I draw something like this, we have got a very good FCP zone right there. Okay, so if I just put in there, this is our FCP zone, and what we are looking for is actually kind of a confirmation to go for a short position from there. So if I go to the daily time frame, we can see that market has created a W pattern. So let's see where the W pattern is going to complete, and that can give us a very good short position. So if I draw Fibonacci from there to this level, we can expect market to come to this level or so, approximately this, right? So we know that we are standing right there on this FCP zone, but market has a better FCP zone at the top. So how do we play this? What we are going to do is, as usual, we are going to look for a confirmation in this zone, right in there, and if we get a confirmation, then we'll go for a short position. Otherwise, we'll wait for the market to come in there and then look for a short position, because that will actually give us a better short position, and the W pattern will also be completed by then. Okay, what else can we do? We can also try to do something like this. Yep, that looks perfect, just very good. So okay, so this is the plan that we have on AUDUSD. Let's look at on 4-hour time frame. What do we have? Okay, on 4-hour time frame, we got a very good signal and the market has been moving upwards, and we can see that market is creating this sort of like W pattern here. It created an M pattern, and if we had taken this short, would have reached its profit target, this one also, and this is now looking very good. Okay, so if you're a day trader, then you can actually look for a little long position, given like your trading plan is giving you permission to do that. Otherwise, for me, like pretty much like me, it's going to be a short position if the market reaches here. If it does not give me any confirmation, then I'll just miss out. I won't take any kind of trade, because as I always say, missing is better than losing. So I will miss out all the trades. I will not trade for entire week unless I find a very good trade opportunity. Okay, so this is AUDUSD, and let's look at USD Cad. Okay, USD Cad has been very good, and actually towards on Friday, it actually created some confusion as well. Although we were actually looking at all of these levels in advance, like these levels were identified few weeks ago, and all of them are still working. You see that market took a little break here and then started to fall, and we were waiting for market to reach there. So once this level was broken, we knew it was going to come to this level, and if that is broken, then we are expecting market to come down to this level. So what I'm going to do is actually leave this analysis in there and just validate using Fibonacci one time and see if those levels are still fine. So we can see that this is slightly changed now, and this is slightly changed as well. So that's all we have, and once the market has reached this level, we can look for a long position back into somewhere around here, and that will be the trading plan for USD Cad. So we are still looking for a little bit downward move, pretty much like DXY, and if it reaches there, then we can look for a long position. So far it is still looking bullish. So far this correction is still bullish, but you never know. So if this level is broken, then we may have to analyze again. If I come here and go to the weekly time frame and look at USD Cad, what I see that market has given us a very good indication that it wants to go up, and that may be the profit target. But again, pretty much like everything else right now, there is enough space for it to play around here. So it can come down, but ultimately it wants to go back to that level where it is. So this is still looking bullish, but it's taking little break here. Okay, this was a very good indication, and I shared that in the private room as well, and in the private room and public room, that this was a very good trade. This actually reached the profit target, and you can see there is a little bit of M pattern which is also completed. So this was a very good trade, and here the long trade was also very good, and other trades are also good. So this is looking very good now. Let's go to the 4-hour. See if we can find anything. Okay, on 4-hour time frame, so far we do not have any kind of confirmation, but I'll be waiting for that confirmation here. If I get a confirmation, then I will look for a long position somewhere around here. So that's what we have on USD Cad. Let's move on to USDJPY. On USDJPY, this is not the updated one. I shared an updated analysis with the public chat room that we have. Okay, so let's open that and look at USDJPY. Okay, on USDJPY, I shared this update that we were looking for this FCP zone, and from there we knew that market was going to go down, and we were able to take very nice trade from this level to here. So this is not updated. Let's look at USDJPY on here. Right, okay, and we go to weekly time frame, and we see that market wants to go upwards right now, but there is no proper confirmation here. So it is still in consolidation, and it is still quite a mess here. But if you go to lower time frames, you can find very good W&M patterns, and that can actually lead us to very good profits. Here this is a sign that market wants to go up, and USDJPY wants to ultimately reach this level of 106389, which may or may not happen. This is not like signal, but it gives you good guidance that it wants to do something like that. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, this was our short signal here, and the market has reached its profit target. This was the long signal here, and if I go to the 1-hour time frame, this is the consolidation that we had for some time, and ultimately it broke through this, and this is the signal that we had, and since then it has been falling. So if I go here, this is what we're looking at. So what do we do this week? So let's start afresh and remove this, and if you go to the weekly time frame, we can see that the market is quite a mess here, and it is actually trying to ultimately it is going down, because if you see that the overall structure is that it wants to go down, but you do not have a proper direction in terms of the candles. So what you have here is several WNM patterns. So if you know how to trade WNM patterns as FCP patterns, which are Fibonacci Confluence patterns, then you know what to do. So there are M patterns here and there are W patterns here. So these are very good opportunities, and that's how we were able to find this level as well. Because let me show you one example here. If I draw Fibonacci from top to bottom here, this is right there at 78.6, and that is why I mentioned that market was going to go down from that level. This is 78.6 here. So this is the FCP zone that we had, and that is why the market fell. Now if the market is falling, then it must reach its profit target at some level. So let's draw fib on this. So far it hasn't reached its profit target, so I'm expecting that market may actually fall down to this level, and at that level we may have to look for a confirmation into whether it wants to go up or not. And if it actually falls, you'll see that it is the similar kind of fall, that minor fall that we may have here on USDCAD, and you may also have similar kind of minor fall on DXY as well into that FCP zone. So USDJPY can also do the same thing, and then we may have to look for another confirmation to go long or short, and this will also probably coincide with a bit of the Bollinger Band right there. So give me 1 second. Before we actually close this, there is another thing which is happening here, and that's this trend line. Okay, so that also kind of confluences nicely with this. So this is the level that we are looking for on USDJPY. Okay, what else? Okay, let's look at one more, because a lot of you actually look at NZDUSD as well. On NZDUSD, we have the midpoint has been broken, and we have a W pattern coming up, and that basically means that the market wants to go up. But this midpoint is very, very important. So you may experience upward move, but there'll be a retracement back into this, right? Or you can also experience that market wants to go down. It will create a bearish candle before it can go upwards. So right now this is kind of like a decision point, whether it wants to go up. Ultimately it wants to go up right now, but you may have to wait for a bearish candle to prevent yourself to not fall for a fake breakout. But if it starts to go up, then what we're looking for is somewhere around here, this level, which can be expected. So this becomes our FCP zone here. There are other factors. We do not just create FCP zone based on Fibonacci. There are other factors, and they're also part of our training course. So if you're interested, go and check out the description of this video. So this is what we have. What we're looking for, if this starts to move, then it will go there. Otherwise I'll be looking for first confirmation like this, and then I'll be looking for an upward move. So that's what we have here on NZDUSD. Now if we go and find NZDUSD here and look at the weekly time frame, what we can see that market wants to go down. There was an initial signal here, but that can be ignored because the color has changed here. That means it wants to go down, and it is consistent across all the currency pairs that we have seen. Euro USD, same thing, everything. So that basically means that whatever is going to happen, that is going to happen on nearly all the currency pairs. It wants to go down, but so far it has not been able to do so. So next week can be very crucial, because if those conditions line up, then it can start to fall down. And you see that this is expecting market to reach there. If it starts to form a W pattern and it reaches its final point, that will be 67572, and that's exactly where we are, 67572, somewhere around here, right? So similar to that, what we have on water trend algo. So this is my analysis on USD JPY as well. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found this useful. If you did, hit the like button. In the comment section, let me know what you think about this analysis. What is your opinion? This is like a very in-depth analysis that I perform for you. So make sure that you express some gratitude and support me and support this channel by putting a comment, liking this video, and sharing this with other traders and trading communities. Okay, I'll be very grateful if you do that, and I'll see you in the next week in the markets, and hope you have a good time next week. If you're interested in learning how to analyze the markets the way I do using Fibonacci Confluence, then head over to Vikinsa.com, and under training section you'll be able to see Core Strategy Training Program. On this page you'll be able to see the testimonials of previous students and also look at the brochure. The brochure has a lot more information, including the course structure and the Fibonacci Confluence Training Program curriculum. This is a very extensive program in which we cover basic core Fibonacci concepts along with the advanced concepts to analyze the markets with high probability. If you're interested in joining this program, come to Vikinsa.com, and under training section you'll be able to see and submit this form. Thank you for watching. Find and follow us on these social media channels.